Roll call, George.
Mr. Dilts. Here. Ms. Jones. Present. Mr. Grisco. Here. Cole.
Here.
Mr. Salvator. Mr. Uzelak. Attorney Castell. Here. All right.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion of amending our agenda for May 14, 2026 to add the resolution number 2026-06 to the agenda of May 14, 2026.
Okay, was there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
And Mr. President, while we're on this topic, and since we did discuss it in an earlier workshop, and everybody's very well aware of what we're doing on this, I'm just going to go ahead and make a motion to approve the resolution number 2026-06 for Mr. Jim Kabasa to go ahead and move forward on this.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor for resolution previously discussed, 2026-06. There's a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go into our public hearings. They've been advertised, mailings have gone out pursuant to the law. So we'll need a motion and a vote to open the public hearing on the preliminary determinations on the bond issues.
So moved, Mr. President.
There's a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Now we're gonna ask for any public statements, remonstrances, or anything in writing regarding these two resolutions. And we don't have any public here, so I wouldn't think we need to drag this out too long.
We've not gotten anything in writing that I'm aware of.
If there are no questions, we can go into the vote on the resolution.
Mr. President, I'm going to make a motion on resolution 2026-04 to be approved as presented from the board.
Okay, there's a motion for 2026-04, which we previously discussed in our prior meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
Moving down to C, Mr. President, I'll go ahead and make that resolution of 2026-05 be presented to the board from our professional staff.
Okay, there's a motion for resolution number 2026-05 that was previously gone over and discussed in our workshop. Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second that.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, now, just go ahead and make a motion to close the hearing portion of the agenda and to move on through the rest of the agenda.
So moved.
There's a second on that? We need a second, Lou?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor of closing and returning to normal business? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. We're returning to normal business. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Approval,
We still
Yeah. You will. All right, buddy, you be good.
I take care. Thank you. Approval of, April 9th, 2026 board minutes.
I'll make that motion for the board minute of April 9th.
All right, we have a second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Old business, none. New business, consideration, donation from Heritage, Lake Heritage Parks Foundation.
I'll take that.
Okay.
So the Lake Heritage Parks Foundation, every so often, has a vehicle that they have in their ownership that they use for getting around to the different properties, things like that. They use them for a little while. They always get a crew cab, and the crew cabs come in quite helpful with a lot of the different crews here at the park department. Craig's got a couple under his supervision that has these pretty big teams of people from other partnerships. And so the Lake Heritage Park Foundation, every time a truck really is needed around here, there's no time, they will donate the truck that they buy. And so that's what this is. This is a 2023 Ford F-150 Super Crew that is being donated to the park department. And it's, I believe, going to go to, or has already gone to, which crews?
Our Little Calumet River,
Little Calumet.
Collaborative Crew, yeah.
Yep. So they're gonna get that truck. It's gonna help them get around with the team that they have.
Okay. Well,
Was it taken care of by the previous user?
The truck was in extremely good shape. That was donated here. Not only was it in great shape, it was the previous user vacuumed it, wiped it down,
wow.
and turned it in to the point where a mechanic said, this is the cleanest truck I've ever had turned in. That's exactly what he said that I remember.
I would make a motion that we accept the donation of the 2023 crew cab from Lake Heritage.
You can't
make a motion.
No, you're president.
Okay.
You would like to make a motion. So I will make the motion to accept the donation from Lake Heritage Parks Foundation for the 2023 Ford F-150.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
You can vote.
Yeah. Okay, so that's done. You're welcome. Consideration Oak Ridge Prairie Wetland Migration Bank Park will transfer to the Lake Heritage Parks Foundation, Inc. Who wants to take that one?
I'll let Craig start.
Yeah, thank you. In your packet, you'll see there's a map of Oak Ridge Prairie. And then behind it, there's two plat surveys legal descriptions. So kind of giving a little overview here. Our wetland mitigation bank with the DNR will be going in the southeast corner of the park, kind of where the old bear farm was at. And so there's a triangle piece of property that is an inholding with what's basically surrounded by parkland north of what is now the C&O Trail corridor. And so that's owned by Dyer Construction. And so talking to them, talking to Greg, we'd like to make a swap with that, and he's okay with it. So what we'd like to do is swap a parcel of property that we have that's south of the bike trail right away, the C&O. And it's basically on the west side of Johnson Ditch, and it's a long triangular piece of property that we would swap for the our rectangular piece of property for the triangular piece of property. So looking at the legal descriptions and so forth, both are 1.994 acres. So they're both the same size, about 86,862 square feet. So we made that rectangle, we sized it perfectly to be the same size as the triangle. So that way we're swapping acre or square foot for square foot. And so what we need to do on this is park board would transfer the rectangular piece of property to the park foundation, and then the park foundation would go ahead and transfer it to Dyer Construction. And likewise, Dyer Construction would donate their triangular 1.994 acre parcel to the foundation, and the foundation would then transfer that to the park board.
We're doing this little tricky thing because the law on disposing of property is so cumbersome, so awkward, and we would have to go to public bidding, an auction, and it's ridiculous. I mean, we're just swapping. We can give it to the foundation, and the foundation doesn't have to do that. They can then give it to the contractor, and vice versa. We can do it in reverse and avoid all of that. Well, you'd have to have a public hearing and public notices and so on. So it's basically the only motion would be to transfer the property to the foundation. Make sure you identify it. That's it. I mean, the foundation will have to act on their end to donate it and vice versa. So we'll get it all done. It should take a little sleight of hand, I guess.
And the triangular parcel that's owned by Dyer right now, it became more important because of the mitigation bank. Mitigation bank, we would have to put a slight berm in along the north side of that triangle, so no water would migrate from mitigation bank onto Dyer's property. And so this will allow us to basically put water in this property, not have to do any additional work, get a little more credit on it, on that triangular parcel. And then, you know, the parcel on the south side, that's farmed right now currently, and it's up against what Dyer farms right now. So for them, it's perfect then, so.
Is it owned by Dyer or is it owned by Greg?
It's Gage Properties, GA.
Oh,
It's a vehicle we set up.
Yeah.
So do we have a motion for the, is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Acceptance of claim.
Before we move on, did we also need to include your resolution 06 here?
We did that, Dave did that right out
We
there.
did that one first.
Okay.
He did it out of order.
Okay,
Because he's trying to,
Yeah, because he was trying to. You don't, you go home.
got them all.
just checking this.
No, that's done.
My packet here.
Yep. Do we have a motion to, acceptance of claims, for April 10th to May 14th.
So I'll make that motion to accept the claims from April 10th to May 14th of 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any questions, any questions, comments, discussion?
Thing.
Yeah. Probably it was the fired up for a while. So no discussion? And so there's a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
And Chris, you saw our first order of Dippin' Dots, so it's in there.
Great.
We did.
Just so our finance can keep up with 600,000 every time we meet.
Well, it's gonna go up. I thought that was a little low when I looked at the total.
Committee report?
Yeah. Covered a lot of it. It's a street meeting and,
Did we record on the meeting, the meeting?
you could just say that we met.
We met.
To discuss the bond resolutions, et cetera.
Any, I guess I'll ask, is there any, you guys got anything that started going on as far as parks and stuff like that, other than what we're doing with that, like with the golf course, construction? And
Well, they'll cover it in their report.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Anything going on?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So,
That would be the division before Craig will start.
You want to start?
there you go.
First off, back in second to last week of April, we had a closing, and the Osterley property was acquired. So, as you know, that's going to be done over several years, but it was acquired, and so both Rich and Betty were very happy, and so I think a lot of others have too. And employees have been out there to see the site. It's generally it's a really beautiful site. Unfortunately, after we had it, that next week is when the big storm came. So we had trees down everywhere, but that site had some trees down as well. So big things happen. So we'd have closed a week later. They're probably done a little better, but in all honesty, though, it's a great site. Very happy.
I don't know if they did it, maybe today or you want to get it.
Just sign and we'll take care of the rest.
Grand Kankakee Marsh County Park, we wrapped up our turkey hunting season, the week before, and, We ended up harvesting 5 turkeys out of the park, so pretty happy with that. Coming years, I'm sure it'll be a little better, but we had, as far as the hunters out, we had, all the slots taken, so we had good interest in it. In fact, we had to turn some hunters away because there just isn't enough slots for it. So I think we ended up having probably about 50 different hunters out on the site, so pretty encouraging. And then also at GKM, Friends of the Kankakee, it's an advocacy group based in Illinois and Indiana, both with board members, and they successfully helped establish the Kankakee Kankakee National Wildlife Refuge in Illinois. It's not in Indiana. So anyways, they're starting some work in Indiana, and so that group came to us, and at Grand Kankakee Marsh, about 50 acres of that park is in Newton County, in Shelby across the river and there. So they want to help us with some of the management of that 50-acre forest of wetlands. So we agreed to let them do that, and so they're starting assessment on it, and they'll be having work days and helping us remove invasive species and that kind of stuff. And then and hopefully next year or two, they'll also jump across the river by the Shelby Isaac Walton League there. We've got another almost 100 acres. And so that also was the Ford property that was acquired several months ago. So at that time, we hope they'll jump onto that side and do additional work for us. So we're pretty happy with that. So, and then we also did, I think I reported last time that NERC had their trees available. We did pick them up, and we'll be getting those into the ground here within the next week or two. So Deep River, Oak Ridge Prairie, I think Lake got up. So looking forward to that, and it's a good thing for spring. And we already got Arbor Day, but there's still some time to get them in. So any questions, I'll answer them, but if not, that's what I got for you.
That's quick.
Now that you know how quick he was.
No, but I want to start with just park sites in general, whether it's Stony Run, Lynn Lake, Buckley, I mean, all these, like, Three Rivers, I mean, you name it, that fall under for me. It's been wet, windy, stormy spring, and they really go great trying to keep up and do what they can. Everything's been playing catch up. And I think finally this week, most of my park managers and park techs said, ooh, we feel like we are finally in a good place with at least the ground. So just wanted to say thank you to all them. Kara Mackey, who is technically my assistant superintendent of recreations and special facilities, although I'm really going to rely on her as my program coordinator, director, whatever you call her, and Emily Trisler. And Diane wrote this. I'm giving her credit for this because I took it straight from what she wrote. But they were recently chosen to co-lead a session alongside Danielle Starks, who's a PhD and a clinical assistant professor of education for Purdue University West. They were chosen to teach alongside her at the Outdoor Learning Conference in Banff, Alberta, Canada, this past week.
Amazing.
So their presentation was STEM from Here, Growing Future Educators in Parks. And that highlighted the partnership between community parks and Purdue West that we've been getting for quite some time now. We've had a lot of their students out to interpret alongside us, see how we do things. And so this allowed future educators to have hands-on experience working with park professionals. And so they co-led this session. It was a great opportunity for them. I think it really shows the reach that within the department and how others really think of Lake County Parks in general. So just wanted to mention that because I think that was a big thing for them. And I think sponsors. So thanks to the Lake Heritage Parks Association for supporting you. Just some programming updates and events going on in the next couple of weeks. Wanted to start with this. We've really relied a lot and made on the schools and the National Honor Societies up there to get some volunteers into our programs. This was something that came our way. It should be in the board packet, but Dominic Fanton, he's been one of our volunteers for us, just wrote it first, and I thought I was sending it to NHS. I just thought it would look good for colleges to see. I started to volunteer, though. I realized that it actually is really fun to be out in the community interacting with people. I did a majority of volunteering at the Lake County Parks, where I would work events such as Fountain Flopsy. Being a part of something like that with the kids that came through or just having a great time makes me so grateful for the opportunity. So that was cool to see that. Wanted to get that in the board report. They will be busy this weekend at Grand Key Marsh for the 40th and final Voyager rendezvous. We are setting sail on this program after 40 years between, I just want but this is the 40th. Being a lot of them just starting to retire and moving away from reenacting attendance, just a lot of factors that came down into it. But it's something that's been in the talk with them for the last 3 or 4 years. So this was no surprise to the reenactors or anything. They were on that we just really get to 40 years. So that will take place this Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4, a $5 entry fee there. Buckley Homestead has sheep shearing this Sunday, so you can come see the sheep get their haircuts, learn about how fleece goes into wool and all that fun stuff. There'll be live demonstrations, vendors, food, historic buildings will all be open for that. The Deep River Grinders, they open this Sunday with their first home game at 2 p.m. in Grinders Field. That is also free. I'm sure they will be pretty busy looking at the weather. Jim can hook up. Make sure he doesn't charge you too much for that. Stony Run, their annual Memorial Day service and program, Monday, May 5th at 2:30 p.m. So that is that staff will put that on as well. And then finally, more Fathead. Big Maple bathroom dedication. I had to save that for last. The bathroom is
I like the
open.
toilet paper.
So this is a program Diane also came up with. We are doing a When Nature Calls program with a small dedication for the bathroom. Because once again, Bill and his family, Bill was gracious enough to donate $400,000 to the parks to bring this.
Yeah.
Bathroom. It's unfortunate he wasn't here.
Should be passed away since then, but.
About 2 years in the making. So if you can make it next Thursday, Strax is donating furnaces. And lemonade for the event. And we have a couple stories for these kids as well. So, and Karen, our naturalist, is going to be there. She's bringing some plastic as well. So it should be a fun little program to dedication. So, unless anyone has any questions, Chris.
I don't know that I can top that, but for the golf course, so Sturkey Creek had a really good month. As Sasha said, kudos to the staff that everybody's been managing the really wet course conditions and managing all that really well. It's been good. They haven't had to irrigate since the night.
I think good. Maybe some irrigation broke.
They've been having irrigation problems, which I know the carpenters have been helping out with. We're at Cedar Creek. Cedar Creek was finally open this week. Started their season. Same thing. They were just really wet with all the rains that we had. The carpenter crew was over there as well. We did a lot of repairs to the driving range this year, fixing a lot of the netting. That was a pretty big project for them to replace. I think it was almost 300 feet of cable, which is nowhere near all of it, but a decent portion of it that had kind of frayed and had broken through, so we repaired that. I know Chris Paravan just down there working on getting quotes to start changing out some of the panel netting for the driving range as well. Started kind of dry rot over the years. Over at the water park, as we talked about in the pre-meeting, hard to believe it's that time of the year. The water park opens next Friday at 10 a.m. for the 32nd season. 31 years, 32nd season. It always confuses me.
Yes.
Yeah. I have the one. So 32nd season. Staff's been really busy training, getting the park ready. There's tons of training going on tonight next door. I think just about every department has training, which is why the parking lot looks like it's darn near packed over there. Those storms that Craig mentioned earlier took out. We have these giant umbrellas and then by our kiddie pool, the fan of the wave pool, and over by the courthouse play structure. There's 12 of them total in the park. They're 22-foot diameter umbrellas. The storms that came through that day, those high winds knocked out every single cover on those umbrellas. They're covers that stay up year round. So the storm just tore them to shreds. So we're working on getting some new ones. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to open without those, but just because of lead times and getting them made, but we are getting those repaired and replaced. So hopefully they'll be here before the weather turns super hot. Other than that, staff just been really busy getting the park ready to go and getting things going. All of our pools are filled and running and filtering. We started heating our pools in anticipation of next week. The pools that we do heat, we don't heat them all, but the ones that we do have been fired up and running. And other than that, the carpenter crews have also been over there helping repair some broken piping, along with myself. I've been over there repairing some piping. It's just, as we talked about in the pre-meeting, a lot of the original stuff just kind of starting to show its age. And I'm also convinced that these freeze thaw winters we have don't help anything over there anymore. It's just, it doesn't stay constantly cold. It's terrible. We have all kinds of stuff, piping break all the time with the freeze thaw and all that kind of stuff.
Should have done a pipe, should have done a refinery.
Refinery theme.
Oh, I threw all the pipe in the air.
It's still not too late. We got a budget. I'm about ready to abandon everything in there.
Underground. Well, we see the underground stuff's always on. Yeah.
That was, yeah, we really missed it. You know, we went Crown Point, the courthouse, should have gone BP. BP. That's what we should have done that.
Yeah.
That would have been much easier.
Well, if a pipe leak or a joint, it's just another
It's
effect.
just the water up there.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Anything else? If anybody has any questions about anything?
I'm amazed because I was a part of that back in 2005 when we put those big umbrellas at the end of the wave pool.
You and I did that.
Yeah, remember we put everything in, we sank all the hardware, we did all that. I cannot believe they were still standing, and this is the storm that took them out.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like we've been through way worse storms than what this was.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, so.
Is there a guarantee on the labor?
You know what? It passed a long time ago. Sketchy effects. So I can't guarantee that you got anything back then. Although Chris was doing pretty good, so he probably overcompensated for my lack of ability. Yeah, and everybody's been kind of mentioning how the carpenters have been helping and getting things going this year. And, you know, the mechanics have their own challenges at the beginning of this year. We've had equipment just keeps getting older. Mowers keep getting older. Tractors keep getting older. And trying to stay on top of this stuff just gets to be a bigger and bigger challenge all the time. We still have, I mean, we just recently had a 401 go down with a hydraulic problem. I mean, that thing's from 1977, 75.
The 301 is 76.
76. So, I mean,
Yeah, 70. I was
That is-
77 for the.
that is how long they've kept this equipment going. And you know what? It's still good equipment. Some of this stuff is still good. Actually, if anything, it's some of the newer mowers that just don't hold up like the old stuff did.
They were out.
They were out faster, yeah. And it's this change to, not that I'm going to complain about,
Yes,
you know, modern things, but all these changes to sealed maintenance-free bearings has done nothing but make things harder. I mean, honestly, it just doesn't last like it used to. So anyway, the mechanics have their own thing. Yeah, I know. And I don't like it. Yeah. So there's my rant today. And Craig and I had a kind of an interesting, just people were talking about the wetness. We had an interesting meeting with the wetland mitigation people the other day with the Army Corps of Engineers and whatnot. And a lot of the conversation had to do with the current conditions and how wet things have been. But the gentleman from the Army Corps said, yeah, I went and looked and conditions are listed as normal. We're just so used to these drought conditions that we've had. These are actually normal conditions. And we all got a pretty good laugh at the meeting about that. And just thought, wow, it's just so how quickly we can reprogram. Other than that, yeah, you guys can see the finance report where we're at. There's really not much to say there. We're still spending. We haven't opened a lot of our operations yet, so we're just spending at this point in time. But so far so good. We're okay. You know, and a lot of it has to do with this, you know, how we were getting less tax dollars than we expected. So we'll see what happens coming up into June. But that's really all I have. Unless anybody has a question. Unless, did you have anything?
I don't like to talk.
That is not true. And as I recall, during that meeting where you made that comment, everybody on the conference call laughed.
They did.
Okay.
But I mean, we've covered, I think, everything.
Yeah, I can't
We'll
think of anything.
see how, and as I've said before, we won't get our first property tax draw until the end of June. So
Yeah, that's
we'll
what
see
I
where
was
we're gonna
saying.
go.
We won't know until then, and
What we need is,
we don't know. We've got no word on the budget yet, so.
what we need is hot weather, and as is so typical, it's gonna be hot this weekend and next weekend it's gonna be like mid to high 60s or 70. It's,
Or not hot.
and it is not that unusual.
No.
I think this is really, like you said, we've been used to dry. Actually, I heard something that a lot of Indiana is still under drought conditions.
Oh, and my daughter's in Crown Point NHS. Are you ready for her to volunteer?
Bring it on.
Yeah.
All right, I can't wait for that.
All right, general discussion. Do you have any other discussion on it? We got a visitor,
Oh, this,
real quick here.
I don't know if it's gonna be quick.
Well,
If I can convince you quickly,
go ahead.
it'll be fine. I'm sorry I'm late.
Yeah, it's fine.
I have to accuse Craig. Sam started telling me it was at 5:30.
I wouldn't do that. I told you 5:30, it's always been at 5 recently. But if I did, I apologize, so, yeah.
All right, and if I'm wrong, I apologize.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yes, I am here. I got it. Because it has come to my attention that you may not be wanting to acquire new properties, purchase new properties. And that's why I am here. I have come with a picture of my property, 10.5 acres. And it divides the golf course where John Lawton would like to do a development, and your property, county parks on the south, county parks on the west. I have also marked up a couple of poorly pictured surveys, so you can see. Maybe some of you do not know where it is. I don't know. Yeah.
You got it.
All right. I never knew. I will show you some pictures also. This is mommy and daddy just on Mother's Day. They are great parents. Last year, they raised an eagle that fledged. This year, look at this.
Oh,
2 eaglets. 2 of them. And one is already flapping its wings. It's not like the picture. Okay. Now, we've been discussing purchasing my property, 10.5 acres now for a few years. And John Lawton who wanted to do the tree-build, as of now, the development on the golf course. I'm just south of the golf course, the Borden. Made me an offer a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Randy Wiley was negotiating, and I think you know Attorney Wiley. And he told me to accept John Lawton's offer, and I said no, simply because, or it's not simple. I would like for this piece of property as a buffer zone from any development on the golf course to go to county parks. So it's been my family's wish to keep it in a wildlife area. As you know, a lot of birds, not only eagles, although we have an eagle's nest every year. We have deer, we have Caspian terns, we have sandhill cranes, we have egrets, all kinds of birds and deer. And I would like to keep it as a wildlife area. Now, I would prefer, I must admit, also say, this Monday, just a few days ago, I received a call from Todd Harbrecht. He's the head of the Lifehouse Developments. He's wanted to buy my property also in the past. And it didn't work out. And he's back again. And he's ready to give cash. And I said, we can discuss it. I'm going to visit my family out in New York tomorrow morning at 4:00. For a week after Memorial Day, he wants to stop by and we discuss it. Now I'm hoping to tell him that it's not available. I would like for you all to consider buying this piece of property and adding it to our wildlife sanctuary and keep it as a buffer zone from any kind of development that will go on in the golf course. So I'm putting him off. If you are to tell me that there's no chance that you will buy it, then I must put it up for sale. And I don't want to do that. I've been waiting for a long time. Okay, this would be a buffer zone, as you can see on the survey. I've marked it off. It goes the whole east-west border, contiguous to the golf course. The golf course that's supposed to be developed. We also have 350 feet of Moore Street access, easy access. And as you see on the west side and the south side, it's all county parks. Now, this would be a great buffer zone. If anything, this should go on soon in the golf course. It would, my sale pitch, it would really improve and enhance future public access to the park area and allow more public space for public enjoyment. It would be very, very important to you. It would allow future park facilities available off Moore Street, the 350 feet that we have. As I said, contiguous to county parks in the west and south. And it increases the wildlife habitat. It's a beautiful piece of property too. There's a tree line dividing from the golf course, and then there's trees in the back to the west. The other side is your property, Lake County Parks. It also, by the way, gives you access to money because there are a couple thousand that Brian Mitch has been paying for harvesting on that. So it's not without value immediately for you if you wanted it. My father, our family had this property, well, not my 10.5 acres, I bought that myself, but the other property for 100 years in our family. And I would really like for you to consider buying this property. It won't cost you a fortune, but it would be.
Yes, we have.
What's the value?
We had it appraised, I think, 3-4 years ago, and the first appraisal came in, I think, at 400,000. And I think we had another one done for, I think it was 500,000 maybe, so. For sure, we had the one appraisal, I thought we had 2 done. But,
Well, so that was one that has told Craig he can't buy any more property because we cannot afford it. When you look at our budget and everything, and when I look at it, then I'm not ruling it out yet. Just and a lot of staff will tell you that we have so many things that are falling apart, that are big time projects, that are safety issues. How do we do this? I'm not opposed to buying properties, but it is my job to do my due diligence to protect the department. And that's the long and the short of it. It's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of money when you don't have it. And you're trying to find money to repair a rooftop, repair a road, to improve a playground. I don't even know how we could even do it over a long term. Plus, we have people approach us every day with properties that they want to sell us. And they are some better than yours, some worse than yours. I mean, it's just all in the mix of where everything ends up.
Right.
And the long and the short of it is it comes down to the math and the money and how do we and can we even make it work? So I'm just telling you the straight up what the decision was, because I told Craig no more property. Unless he can find if he can find $400,000 to donate, and I know it'd get us $2,000 or so a year in revenue, but that's not a great ROI. And where Craig gets properties, he's good at having everybody else pay for it. And I don't know, we've kind of been trying to do that with the state, but so far.
Well, the state's in the, yeah, the state's in the same situation.
And the problem is, I'm hearing Brenda talk, she wants to get this resolved. People are wanting to pay her money, and it doesn't happen overnight. We've been trying, we've been working, and it doesn't happen overnight. And
Yeah, the reality is, we never wrote this property off. It's always kind of been in our thought process.
It's been for at least 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, and sometimes, Brenda, we've got properties. How long did we work on, yeah, not Osterley, the other one, and then,
Lake Hills?
Yeah, Lake Hills, thank you.
It probably initially started, it was probably a 7 or 8 year process.
Yeah, so that's the point. It does take time for us to do that, and
and Craig found a lot of partners.
yeah, and it was a lot of work to do that. That's what it takes.
I mean, when we can buy $1 million property with only 200,000 or 100,000 on us, or even zero, because then we get the little Cal and others. And quite honestly, you have a problem is that you're not in the Lake Michigan watershed. So some of the grant monies that are available that we've accessed are not available. They don't exist for the Kankakee and the Mississippi watershed. So it's.
But I really would like to say that this is a long time positive acquisition.
No argument.
Protecting the wildlife, literally all the wildlife. I make photo albums for you every year to protect them from this horrible kind of development that, for example, Lawton, they'll probably end up doing something there. And he's being sued already in Hebron because he's doing the same project he wanted to do on the golf course. And they can't get the fire department in there. The people are not getting any fire insurance because the fire trucks cannot reach all the houses. That's the same thing he wanted to do on our property, or not my property.
Well, I said, we're not, and I would never argue that the
It's
protecting
a
land.
long-term thing.
I've been, Brenda, this is my 52nd summer working for the park department. I've been here when there was only 2 parks.
Yeah.
And so I am certainly aware of what we've done and what we saved. And I have planted a lot of trees that I will never enjoy. And maybe not even my kids or grandkids, but that's what we're about. But the reality is you're wanting an answer now, and I can't in good conscience say we can make this work, particularly in my head, and I'm going through numbers and I'm like, you got this out here, and then Chris is gonna come with something breaking and this, and I'm protecting us, you know?
Okay, I have the
But
problem.
your problem is one of the immediacy. And
Well, 5 years, I wouldn't say very immediate.
but you want an answer now because you want to try. And I get people offering you money. If you want to, you're in a tough position. Someone wants to give you cash, I don't know what to tell you, but I cannot, if the board can do what they want, but I just don't see the resources.
Not without help, partners, and grants.
And we don't know
It's
that
not
part well.
happening.
We've been working with the
We've been
DNR.
working with the DNR. The DNR is,
We'd have to get the appraisals updated and then just basically tell DNR, ask DNR, what can you help us with right now?
So even if we're wanting to work on it,
it's gonna take longer than a week.
yeah, it's just.
Because you're saying we've only
Yeah,
got.
but
a
we've
week to make
already
this.
had about 5 years, I think.
Well, then
At least.
that's the decision then that you have to make. Are you willing to do that longer, or do you gotta get it and get it? And if that's the case, it's not us.
I just have to know what your timeline might be. Because I, of course, have been holding out.
Yeah.
Even when Randy Wiley was telling me, go for it, go sell to lot. And I said, no, and he's on Heritage.
So if you got appraisals, we went ahead with that, and in the meantime, thought about it. We're still looking at a 2-month process before we can definitely say yes or no.
Are you telling me 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
Because it had to be reappraised.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna die in 2 months,
Well,
but I'm worried about it nowadays.
Get it reappraised and make a decision if it's financially feasible, because we still don't. There's a lot of problems financially in the county. We are getting $200,000 less per month in income tax. So we've had that cut. Now, it's supposed to be made up, but I won't know that. None of us will know that until the end of June. So if things don't, if they cut it and we didn't get it made up, we would lose $2.4 million over the course of a year in our operating budget. So I don't care about, so honestly,
At that point, yeah.
5 years isn't gonna make me feel, I mean, I think
But
it
this
takes,
is a win for you forever,
how do I pay for it?
forever.
You know what, you wanna give it to us?
I wish I could, but I've got to.
Well, there you go, because this is what I always tell
I
people.
have people that
It
are waiting
doesn't-
for an inheritance.
It doesn't matter, but if all I've got in my pocket is $20, that's all I've got, and that's kind of where we're at.
All right,
I mean, this is straight,
All right.
strict math. And Brenda, I mean, I'd love to have the property. I believe this is my career. This is what I've done for a long time, what I've always wanted to do. And the more land we have protecting wildlife and providing recreation, I'm all about. Unless Jeff Bezos walks in, and drops down some money, I do the simple math and it doesn't work out. Addition and subtraction and a projection of what may or may not happen.
so what can we do? Is there anything I can do?
I mean, we just talked about maybe getting it appraised.
We get it appraised so we know what to do, and then Craig will reapproach DNR. They're in the same situations, and there's.
The benefit now, I guess, would be that we're gonna be opening the Cedar Lake Marsh site to the public, like sooner than
And you
later.
do it up there?
Yeah, well,
It's
and
perfect.
because of that, I think DNR is probably more apt to help us with the acquisition.
Well, that's what we have to get an appraisal, so
Yeah.
they're gonna say, well, how much? And then we can tell them, and then we have to put forth the case that, yes, it is a value in terms of access and wildlife. But again, that's gonna take at least 2 months for us to get an appraisal and get it put together and do our due diligence that we're required to do by law.
And would our hope be that they would come up with the entire amount, or do we still need to find other sources?
Typically for something like that, I would say if we could get half to 3/4, that's what I would always shoot for. And then there's one other grant program that I think we're gonna be partnering in. We did NACA grants in the past, with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, their North American Mountains Conservation Act grants. And so they are gonna have a new grant proposal coming soon for the Kinky watershed. So that might be able to slide.
Right, but see, here's the thing with
Yeah.
Craig has got a lot of stuff for grants, and it takes years sometimes. And then you have the reporting agencies, and if he can get it, Craig's good at getting partners to pay for everything.
I guess
But 200,000 is easier than 400.
Sure.
Right,
You
so I think it would be us getting, the appraisals redone and get an average price, and then if Brenda would agree to that, then we have a number that we could look to the partners to help us find.
Yeah, and I have to rework numbers and get some idea. I've got calls into people trying to figure out where we're gonna be financially and what they think the tax draws and everything are gonna work. 2 months gives us time to reevaluate and,
But even with that 2 months, she needs to move forward with this. If all goes well, what kind of timeline are we? I mean,
Usually, the DNR monies are available quarterly, you can apply for them. So really, there's 4 times throughout the year that you can put an application in for those environmental license plate funds. So, if we were to get the appraisals done and Brenda would agree to that price, then, there's times we can have funds from the state within, at least approval for them within maybe 3 to 6 months. And that's probably as quick as we could get it.
so we could give her an answer within a year.
Or probably a lot less, I would think.
a lot less.
Yeah.
Because once we get the appraisal, we get going, the other caveat is, you may have heard me say this before, we have to front the money. So it isn't as though they come in and they go, we're gonna give you $300,000, wonderful. But you've gotta have the 400 to buy it and then we'll repay you. So we have to front the money for however long it takes them to process and get things done. And every organization is different. Some are good and some are not so good. And, you know, we have borrowed before from groups. I don't know that this one would fit. But then personally, we hate paying interest, you know, on something. And it's when we've done these projects,
Well, and
it's
we're
been
there.
generous. I mean,
And we're
they've
at
been
their
very
mercy.
work-
You know, if they find one thing about the property they don't like on that side of it.
Well,
They
if
won't loan us
we
down.
use conservation fund, would we have to do environmental and?
No, not on this one because, there's no improvements on it. There's a small barn, chicken. Yeah.
They take care of
I think,
homeless cats.
No archaeological or anything?
yeah, I think it would be pretty simple.
Okay.
And there is a well. Yeah.
So, I mean, to like, as Chris was saying, it's your decision, and I get how you are in a hard place. I personally can't recommend us making any decision until we get appraisals back. And I'm telling you, 2 months, it could be quicker, but I am not gonna promise something that we can't. You know,
That's fair enough. I just, in case it doesn't work out, I'm just so afraid of our wildlife area. It's so unique. The people from any development there will start running over to the property.
I get it.
Running out back to the marsh, to the woods, to the eagle's nest. And soon we'll have nothing there anymore. There's no wildlife area.
We totally understand. It's a battle we fight all the time. And that's why in many ways, and that is the goal and the mission that was originally started in 1968 when the board was formed, and every park board sits and all the staff have moved towards with varying degrees of success. If you look at our original plans and what we wanted to preserve, we can show you subdivision after subdivision because we could not move fast enough. And they were some exquisite pieces of property and they're gone.
Well,
Under
across
houses.
the road, what used to be my uncle's property, my grandfather's property also, up into 153rd, they're selling that piece of property. I think it's 7 acres or
Oh,
something.
I mean, look at Crown Point. I mean, it's just going.
It's right across the road from
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Now, if they develop there and Lawton is on that side, we don't have a chance.
I can tell you, as much as I would like to, and Craig would like to, I really, we can't stop development, you know?
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
No, but we can do something.
I get it, we're there. He's there.
To conclude, yeah, so I gotta get going on it.
Okay.
We will
That's my plea.
maybe look into it and
What is the appraisal?
get the appraisal. And then, I mean, we'd love to have that piece of property if everything worked out
Yeah.
the way it should.
We gotta do what we gotta do.
Okay, my friend.
Yeah, we gotta look out for
Thank you.
all of our
You're welcome.
interests as a whole too, protect that, so.
Yep.
Okay,
We have to.
okay, thank you for your time today. The
You're welcome. Thank you for
beautiful
the
picture. And then I live right there, so I live in South Shore. Right by my place.
On Moore Street?
I'm on Lee Street in South Shore.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah. The march is at the end of the street. Somewhere there.
Okay. Thank you.
Someone make.
Come on.
All right, thank you for your time.
Brenda,
Thank you.
I gotta get-
you want your pictures?
No, you can have them.
Good. Thank
Oh,
you.
beautiful.
They are great.
That is amazing.
I like the picture, yeah.